Hello, everybody out there in the land of make-believe. Wolf Wizard here with a Wolf Wizard review. Today I'm going to tell you all about the Indepth Ward Bead Storage Solution. It's a mouthful. The Indepth Ward Bead Storage Solution. First, the history of my own bead storage issues. Now, I've been beading probably I've been collecting beads. I've been collecting beads for probably since the early 90s. Let's say 92. Let's say 1992. I'm old. I know. I'm old. But and I've tried to find different ways of corralling my beads because they're all over the place. It's so tiny. And I've used a lot of these sorts of containers, a little round container, see-through, with a lid comes up. Now these containers are a little funky. These lids, they can come off and all your beads come out. It happens. It happens. So I've used these in the past with a little success. And my fat fingers getting in there in the bottom, getting a little tiny bead out of that corner and trying to fish it out is actually really frustrating. If I'm working on a project, I'm pumping beads through and I got to deal with these little containers. Usually what I'll do is I'll pour them into something else, a little dish, something like that. Then I got to put them back. So there's also little containers like this I've used in the past, and this is see-through, and the lids don't come off because they are, it's screwed on. It's screwed on with the cap is screwed on, so that's good, but still you have the same issues. There's only so many beads. I've got thousands of beads, maybe tens of thousands, but I know I have thousands of beads, and sometimes I'll have several hundred beads of the same type, and I'll need more containers. So instead of just using one of these, I'll have 6 with all the same bead in it. So that works well. And then you're limited to the size of beads that you can put in these things too. So if I've got some larger beads, I've got a bunch of larger beads. They're not necessarily going to be able to put 6 in here and 6 in another one. And then that's the other thing is I've got some beads I've only got 6 or 1 or 2 of, and some beads I've got hundreds and thousands of. It gets real complicated for me. Now that I've gone pro and I'm making jewelry for a living, I needed to find a simple way to take care of all my beads at once. I used to work at a medical facility, and I got a bunch of these things, little beakers. Little beakers, and they held a lot of beads. And then they stand up, which is kind of nice. And then there's a little rack, little racks they make for it. And the problem with this is that you can't see from the top into what they are. So when you're in the racks, you got to look at them sideways. And then when you got these middle ones filled, you can't see the other ones from the other side. So it's actually hard to see the beads. You can glue one bead on top if you want. I used these for a while. It didn't work out. I found all of these very frustrating. So when I went pro, I had some money. I was going to be able to invest in a good fix for this problem. On the internet, I found the Indepth Ward Bead Storage Solution. Now, there's a website for it, bead storage, Indepth Ward Bead Storage Solution.com. You can just go there and look at the stuff. And then Dancy, I think it's called, DANC. Well, there's a company that sells them as well on their website, and they want like $47, $49, $50 for one of these setups. And I'll go through these in a minute, but I go to Amazon, just so you know. I go to Amazon, get much better prices on Amazon. So all the prices and all the information I'm giving you, I got through Amazon. I'm not affiliated with Amazon, but if they wanted to give me money anyway, they got just loaded onto my account. Okay, so I'm going to show you this here now where I got it wrote out a little plan. It's I'm cheating. I got a cheat sheet. Oh, the system. I'll show you the system. The systems consist of stackable trays. All the trays have a lid. The lid is attached by these little hinges. Little hinges. Boop. They clip on. Lid doesn't come off. Boop. Lid doesn't come off. It's pretty sturdy. It's pretty sturdy. I'll get into the specifics, pros and cons. But right now, I'll just walk you through the system. It's pretty sturdy. Okay. And then inside, let me see if I've got an empty one somewhere. No, I don't. Okay, so inside, you've got these containers to store your beads in. And the containers are the secret of the solution. Yeah, it's a tray. Everybody can have a tray. The containers are made to fit the trays exactly. They're made with these little cutouts so you can manipulate them easy. So they've got these little, it's got these little divots in it, right? And you boing, boing, pull them right out. So they're really easy to manipulate the actual object. And these are easy to manipulate, yeah, but I've managed to pop the tops off of these things more than I'd like. And they're roly-poly. So this sits down, stays put. It's got a little clasp here for the lid. It's sturdy. These things don't come off accidentally. You got to unclip them. And then it's got a little, just a plastic. It's just one piece of plastic. Hinges up. Then all of the containers are basically the same shape, just different sizes. They've got this little slope here, little curve here, so when you go to get your bead, it doesn't get stuck in a corner. You can pull it right out. It's got a little indentation here, a little concave indentation here, and that helps when you're picking it up, but it also helps if you're pulling beads out. I'll often pull bead out through the side here, it slides right up and pops right out. It doesn't have to traverse this hard edge, slips right out. So you can pull them out frontwards, you can pull them out sidewards, and or you can pour them in your hand and eat them straight here. No, don't eat your beads. Don't eat your beads. Learn that the hard way. So, now the trays themselves, let me pull some stacks out. Trays themselves come with a little bit of a lip here. Keep all of the containers separated. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6. There are 6 lanes of traffic for your bead. Then the containers themselves, the internal containers, yarzers, they come in 3, 4. They come in 4 different sizes, and I don't have them all available. So I do have them all available. Of course I do. 4 different sizes. Let's pull them out. Right, char. Okay, size number small is the small is, now this is 3/4 of an inch by 2 inches, boop boop, by 1 1/8 inch. They're all 2 inches, boo, by 1 1/8 inch. That's how they fit into the thing. So snugly. So they all fit into all the trays. All of the little containers fit into all of the trays. Them's the smalls. Them's the tinies. Them's the smalls. Here's the smalls. They are 1 1/6 inch tall, and then the same diameters at 2 inches and 1 1/8 inch. Then you've got the mediums, which are 1 3/4 inches high, same diameters in the hair. And then lastly, the big boys, you got your largest. I'll show you how to do this. Let's get your largest, which is 3 inches high. Now they stack up like yar. You got 3 larges, going 2, 3, 4, 5. Put in 5 of these mediums, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, sneaky son of a. Trying to act. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the smalls. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of those with 13 of the tinies all fit in there. And and then you get the tray, goes on top. And lock them in there. Good to go. Beads don't fall out. Lids don't come off. Look at beads all floating around. Oh, upside down. Come on. So take a portable, nice system. So I've got all kinds of different configurations of these. And I've got more back here. Can you see back here? See back here? Okay, so they fit in my drawers here. I can stack them 1 to 2, 1, fit in here perfectly, except, if I've got 2 stacked on top of each other and I try to close it, they get caught on the lip of the little catch here. So I gotta have the top ones when I got them doubled up. It's not a personal problem. It's just a personal problem. I gotta have the little lids open. I'm gonna stack it 2 at a time in my Craftsman tool chest. So and then they've got a little bit of a rim here. So when they stack, they fit into each other nicely. They're pretty stable. And not all of these have lids on. Lid. Noisy. They're noisy when you shake them. So they fit into place. They don't rattle around. And you can tell I'm excited about them. So I've been using these now for about 7 months, and they're great. I'll continue to use them. I'm not going to try anything else. Let's see. I'll give you some prices on these bad boys. So you can buy different configurations. I didn't screw up. And they've got the 2-piece setup you can buy, and that is the tray and the lid. 2 pieces, Amazon, $14, and you put whatever you want inside. Then they've got the 4-piece setup, and that is a tray, a lid, and then one of those little things that you design, little designer boards. I'll show you. I've got one over here. It's in use. It's in use. Don't. It's a mess. Don't worry about this. It's one of these guys. Got one of these guys. So you can get the 4-piece, which is the tray, lid, one of those guys, and then a nice piece of foam that goes over your design so that you take it mobile. They don't pull around all the place. I don't have that set up. I've got already the components I need for that. So I don't know. That one might fit in here. I didn't check, but I got that separately someplace else. Now that's $25 for the 4-piece setup. For the 45-piece setup is the tray, the lid, and then an assortment of containers. You get 3 of, get the lid out here. Get 3 of these large containers. You get 10 medium containers. You get 16 small containers, and then 13 tinies. They're tiny. And then that one is $19 for that setup. For the 82-piece setup, it's $28, and that's a tray, a lid, and then 78 of these tiny containers. Just full of kind of tiny containers. Now the numbers are weird. It's 82 pieces, you get 78 containers, lid, tray, and then it also comes with labels. So I'm going to tell you about these. Labels are pretty cool. So I'm using them wrong here, but this is just to show you how they work. Each set comes with a couple of some pages of these labels, enough for all the pieces, and you write on all the deets. You put your deets here about what the beads are, and then these are supposed to go on the bottom. I put it on the top. It's supposed to go on the bottom. I'm not sure I'm going to put them on the bottom, and I'll tell you why when I get into the pros and cons. I'll tell you why I'm not sure I'm going to put them. I have some on the bottom and some on the top, and so far I'm liking the top more than the bottom. I'll tell you why in a minute. So each setup comes with containers. You also get these labels. So those are the different configurations. They also sell a really nifty little tool caddy, which I am going to pick up because I might start beading out more often. I like to have a little tool caddy. Weather's getting nice, and I want to go have a picnic and do something. And I just cannot tell. I probably sold as many necklaces while I've been out making them. Like I'm making a necklace, and somebody comes walking by and says, "Oh, we're done," and buys the necklace. My best sale yet was a guy walking by, saw a necklace I was making, and bought it for me while I was finishing it up. So I do bead out, and there is some benefit to beading out. So I might get up one of the little tool caddies. I'll leave a like and subscribe, but I'll leave a hoo hopper. I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link to the caddy down there in the description. There's a guy going back. All this links for everything. Links for everything. So them's the things. That's the that. What's left here? You got oh yeah. So I showed you. I'll show you how this here. Take the top off here and just dip your finger in and you can pull them out through the side here. So what I'm saying here, so what I'm saying here is that I can pinch it. I can pinch a bead up. I don't have to flip it over the edge of something, which it's a huge difference. I don't know if you guys know. Those of you who bead know, but those of you who don't bead, you want to try the difference. This has got a little slope, slides right out into my finger. I can grab it as opposed to trying to get it over this hard edge, which I lose more that way. Or if it's down at the bottom, it's the last ones. I'm slipping my finger in. I can come up this curve, pull it right up into my finger, or actually right over on the curve. No matter. I'll give you the pros and cons now, and I gotta know that my cons are petty. My cons are petty, but first of all, one of the cons I have is I have fat fingers, right? So I got the lid up, and oftentimes when I reach in, oh, see that? See that? If fat fingers, it hooks my knuckle. So I've got to either bend all of these back, and I'm beading quick, so I'm not wanting to mess around with my bead containers. I don't want them to be an issue. So oftentimes I'll reach in to get a bead, I'll pull out, and I get my knuckle right in there. It happens often enough that I'm pointing it out. So if you don't have big knobbly fingers, it's probably not going to be an issue for you. Or you could just, when you open them up, just push them back a little bit further, and then they stay in place pretty much. It'll end up finding its way back up there, but it's not a big problem. I get irritated by it though. Also, okay, so here's the deal. So you got the beads in here, I can see them fine. But when I've got them out, I'll show you right now. When I have them out on my bench for use, I see the tops, and I can't see the beads. Oh, sorry. When I have them out on my bench for use, I see the tops of the beads. I don't see the beads, so if I want to see the beads, I got to flip them over sideways or over to the bottom. So there's the trick with the stickers on the bottom. Stickers are made to go on the bottom. That's what the instructions will tell you to do. But if you do, then all you can get is to see the beads through the side, which is okay for these bigger ones. But these little ones, I don't need that. I want to see my beads. So I would prefer if I could see them better without having to be flipped over. So right now I've got to do a bench cleanup, and I've got a bunch of beads that need to go back into their homes. And to do that, I'm going to just have to set all of the possible needed containers out open. Get open here. Set them out open like there, and then, pluck into them, line them up, and then pluck off of there. It's not as messed up as I thought it was. Now there's a lot of cleanup. There's a lot of weird beads in here that need to get separated. So in any case, so that's a little frustrating. You can't see the beads. Doesn't I'm still using things. I haven't switched back because of it. But I prefer if I could see them, but I don't know how that would work. First of all, I'm putting the stickers on the top, so at least I can have them all upside down and see the beads. But right now I got to do a bench cleanup, and it's going to be just setting them all out next to each other, and pulling the lids up, and then just going one at a time and pick and put them back where they go. And then with these lids up, that's the other thing is, boom, you got that. Now, if you've got, I've more than once had my cats accidentally knock one of these, boom, and it'll propel them. It'll propel them if it's full. So this is, but I mean, what else are you going to do? That's the engineering. That's how the engineering worked out. This is better than other things. So if there was a solution, but I can't think of a solution. If I had a solution, I'd say, hey, you guys should do something different. I don't know what that is. If anybody can fix it, go ahead and call Elizabeth Ward. Tell her all about your great ideas. So also, oh, you know what? And this is just a silly thing. Another silly little problem is that So I'd like to be able to categorize my beads. I'd like to put them in order, like all one color, all one type. If I've got a full thing of large, these are garnets. If this was full to the top of garnets and I had more garnets, and I wanted to keep them in this line, I'd have to put them in another large, because you can't mix really a large and two. They don't fit, you know, and you can't do a medium and a couple, you know, they kind of fit, but it starts to get a little funky. So you can't really mix and match what goes in line. All the ones in line are going to be that size, you know, the size that you've chosen for that line. So when I'm trying to get my beads all it's a logic puzzle for the old Bark Me Laughing Wolf. Okay, I'm trying to get my beads all categorized and in, you know, I got all my silvers and all my silver rounds, all my silver oval rounds, all my, you know, caps or whatever. I like to have them in a particular order, and I have to order them in the particular containers that go in that row. So I've had to mess around with that. I've kind of figured it out. I mean, it's not a complete mess. You know, you can see here. This has got a lot of unused one in. What are these? A lot of unused ones in them. But so what I'll do is I'll have two trays that are all natural beads. You know, all natural stones. I'll have trays that are just seed beads. I'll have like this. This is just trade beads, you know. This line of beads here is all the trade beads that I have. And now, like I've got other trade beads. That's the thing, is that I've got other trade beads that are so big I cannot fit them in these containers. I've got them elsewhere, in fact. So that's where my little issue comes in, is that I can't get my trade beads with all my other trade beads. I want them all together in that same place. I know, I could just run them up in here. That's not a big thing. But all of this, oh yeah, that's the other thing, is I broke a hinge last day. So these hinges, they seem pretty sturdy. Yeah, they're solid made. The plastic are solid made. The container, everything is a nice solid plastic. But what I did was I had 3 trays on top of each other. I had actually several trays on top of each other full of beads. Went to lift them, and I lifted them with my fingers on one of these hinges, and it snapped. And so I've got one that's missing a hinge, missing the little clasper thinger, because it snapped off. I was lifting. It was pretty heavy. But that's something you got to watch out for, is if you just try to pick them up by the hinges, you're going to want to pick them up, you know, grab them good, because you pick them up by the hinges, could break the hinge. Just do what I say. Other than that, this is the best thing ever. This now, I'm on to the pros. Those are the cons. These are the pros. The pros are, these hinges work great. They hold this lid on perfectly well. Let's test it. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, they hold everything in place. It doesn't come open. This is all good stuff. The individual containers were masterfully engineered to get your fingers in and get a little bead out. Pick it. That's all I need to do. That's all I need out of a container. That's all. Just everything. And they're stackable, which is great. They're stackable, then they're portable. I can drop this whole setup into a large. I could put this in my briefcase, boop, and just off I go. And then, if I suppose, with one of those, that's especially with that tray with the designing board in it. Got your tray with your designing board. You got your design going. You put the foam on top so the design doesn't rattle around. You put your lid on. Get the tray. You get your trays set up with the beads that you need. You got 2 trays. Get your little tool caddy. Stick it all in a bag and pop off. Have a little picnic. Go on a lot of picnics. So, that's it. This is a great thing. Everybody should have one. I'll get some more reviews up for some other stuff that I have. I do have other stuff. I do like to review stuff. I'll get more reviews out. But this is my review for the Elizabeth Bead storage solution. All the links in the thing. Like and subscribe. And until next time, stay cool, stay tuned, and support your local wizard.